Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Astrology Today and Tarot. My name is Mel Rose. This is the Tarot portion and the second half of my daily astrology vlog, which you can check out on my other channel, Astrology Today with Mel Rose. Here I'll discuss the tarot card that sits on the side of the page, then I'll do a quick review of the day's aspects before I play another card that may give us something more to think about. So let's get into it. The card that currently sits on the side of the page is the Eight of Pentacles, and it is here because astrologically it belongs with the first 10 days or the first decan of the sun's transit in the land of Virgo. Virgo is an earth sign. Pentacles or coins in tarot are earth, and earth element relates, often people say, to your health, wealth, and finances. It relates to the physical resources that you have at your disposal, and the work that you're willing to do with them, the ways in which you're willing to use your physical resources to get, where you want and to be, do, and have what you want, right? So here we have a person who is working diligently at being, doing, and having what it is that they want to be, do, and have, right? So this, for me, often comes with a connotation of a like a mentorship program, or just a schooling program. It really reminds me of many years ago when I went to massage school, and I was there 3 days a week, and I was 3 or 4 days a week, and we were there several hours a day just doing massage and talking massage and eating, living, and breathing massage, right? So, and you do that so that you can, in the course of a certain amount of time, go from being, a complete dummy to a beginning professional. So it's important to pay attention. It's important to work diligently, to give it your best effort, to really buckle down and do those studies so that you can get some value out of what you are learning. And even if it's not about education or learning something, it is certainly about definitely the work that we will do to get where it is that we want to go, right? There's no reward without effort, so we're making the effort at this time. And then, the sun is in the land of Virgo, so of course we're making the effort. Virgo is that dispersing, that mutable earth sign that says, we've got to rearrange these resources in such a way that we can use them down the road. We've got to solve the problems of the future now, right? So, in addition to, education, that sort of points into like pulling in the harvests at this time of year. We're entering the end of the summer, the beginning of the fall. So we are very much rearranging our resources. We sowed the seeds, we watered, and we took care of the soil, we took care of the plants, they grew big. Now we're harvesting them. So now that it's time to be doing that, we're very diligent and we're very organized. We want things to go in an orderly fashion because we have a lot of stuff on our plate, right? So just keep that in mind. We want to stay on task at this time. And then on the moon side of the page, the moon is in Libra. It's a waxing crescent. Moon in Libra is a time when we really want, we feel a desire for factual truths and balance in our love relationships, in our personal relationships, in our personal lives, in fact. And that waxing crescent says that we are making plans and setting goals at this time. Some goals that we hopefully will have carried out in time for the new moon in a couple of weeks. Not the new moon, the full moon in a couple of weeks, so that we'll have something to celebrate then, our achievements, right? But also long-term goals as well. So, when we're planning and setting goals while the moon is in Libra, then we're bound to be planning and setting goals that, sort of reflect our desire for things to be very fair and balanced and for the truth to be told. On the moon side of the page, the moon goes trine to Saturn today, and this is in the evening, and it does give us sort of a personal strength based on the tried and true. So some things that we might normally think of as being emotionally difficult or laborious, they are definitely something that we might have more personal, like, internal strength to deal with at that time. All right, so if there's a tough talk you've been wanting to have, or if something comes up, probably you're the person who's going to be able to keep a calm head, or we are the people who are going to be able to keep a calm head and, you know, go through with it in the best way possible. And I say that, you know, because it's a trine. So whatever is difficult is just not as difficult at this time. Moon goes sextile to Venus after midnight at 1:07 Wednesday morning. And this is a social, relaxed, and attractive vibe. So if you're up at that time, I hope you are up and hanging out and enjoying the company of people that you really like, love, and can't get enough of. On the sun side of the page today, the sun goes quincunx to Jupiter. And it's a very don't tell me what to do kind of vibe. We are, you know, it's like Jupiter wants to give and give and like give us what is good for us, right? Give us expansion, give us education, give us growth, give us travel, give us, you know, more opportunities for, you know, for fun and money. So, you know, but sometimes Jupiter's giving can be a little overwhelming, or in this case, I'm reading it as being sort of, you know, the sun, our personal outer self, is feeling a little bit sort of suspicious of of the gifts that Jupiter has to give. And it's probably because we're going through a lot of changes right now, and we see Jupiter saying, hey, here are these gifts, here's this expansion on offer to you. And we're looking at it and going, yeah, and I see a lot of changes I'm going to have to make to do that too. And I don't know what I think about that. And just recall, Mercury is currently in Libra, okay? So it's all right to take your time, you know, really weigh all of the options, make sure you have all the information at hand, right? And you know, make your choices based on what you think is going to be fair to you and to the people around you. And then in the ongoing column, so the ongoing column is getting a little complicated for me because I have been, you know, making some changes. I've made some changes to the way I collect my information and to the way I express my information. I've been buckling down and studying and learning more. And so the more I do that, the more sort of I'm able to give you a different way of looking at things, a more complex, maybe sophisticated way of looking at things. And I love sharing that with you. So thank you for being patient with me. You know, Venus is square to Uranus and opposite to Saturn here. We say square to Uranus and opposite to Saturn. But what's really going on here is that Venus is opposite to Saturn, okay? Uranus is square to both Venus and to Saturn. And this triangle here, this sort of half of the circle triangle, is called a T-square. And you know what T-squares do is they add sort of tension to a situation. They add a little bit of stress. They add a little bit of how do I want to say that? Stimulation, right? So, and sometimes that stimulation is constructive, and sometimes that stimulation is destructive. But it's just sort of like a distraction. Like these two are in opposition to one another, having a really direct conversation with one another from across the sky. And then this guy is over here going like, hey, but think about this, but think about this. So they're getting distracted from one another. That's kind of how I see it. So that can be stimulating, it can be distracting. All of these planets are in fixed signs, okay? Fixed signs, Leo, Taurus, and Aquarius. So, you know, stubborn tendencies are going to come up. You know, a certain kind of tenacity comes with fixed signs, a desire not to let go of things. But, you know, with Uranus as the focal point here, and you remember Uranus is our good buddy that's been traveling in Taurus and shaking up our relationship to the reliability of things, right? You know, Uranus is that focal point here, and I can see it's really vacillating, maybe in an impulsive way, between I want to do something that brings me pleasure and makes me feel beautiful, and or I want to do something that contributes more to my sense of justice and cultural uplift, or maybe I want to do something even more selfish that has to do with just getting the personal resources that I like to have. The guidance I receive on this one is to really err on the side of the responsible and serious right now. After all, the sun is transiting Virgo. We're limited on time, but we have good organizational skills on our side, okay? So, also, Mercury, Mars, and Pluto are still in their grand trine. And friends, I apologize if I've given mixed messages about this. Like I said, I've been getting deeper into my studies and taking some action on the changes I could see were coming. And, you know, the more I learn and grow as an astrologer, the more you're going to see right here. So again, I appreciate your patience. Anyway, the nice triangle that Mars and Pluto and Mercury are making together right now tells us that it should be coming along fairly easily what beginnings or endings we're making at this time, okay? So, for instance, lots of people are starting new programs of study. It's a grand trine. It's a very auspicious sign for those new beginnings in education or anything that, you know, is really going to benefit from having our rational mind, our sense of initiative, and our inner knowing really working for us at this time. And as though to make it better, we find Jupiter out here. Jupiter is aspecting all three of those planets in the grand trine. So Jupiter is sextile to Mars and Pluto and in opposition to Mercury. And it makes this very specific shape, you see, like a kite. And what is a kite? It has strength, right? It has flexibility, and you know, it takes up energy, right? It takes up wind energy, and it moves things into motion, right? It moves the kite into motion. So this is adding strength and activity to this trine. And it also adds the element of expansion and good fortune to the efforts we are making at this time. So keep up the good work, friends. Okay, and I have not been shuffling my cards, so I'm going to shuffle them a couple times right now. Well, I just thank you for being here. Thank you for tuning in for the long form version of the daily aspects, and for hanging in with me while I go through these changes in the way I approach doing this. Yes, thank you for your presence here. And with all of that said, I'm going to go ahead and turn that card. Okay, we have Pentacles and Pentacles. This is the Five of Pentacles. And I don't know if we've had these together yet. Let's see. So Five of Pentacles is a card about somewhat about, you know, going without, you know, having to get on the move to get what you need. And also a reminder often to ask for help from more resourceful entities, okay? Especially if you're going without something that you actually need in terms of your health and well-being. If you're, you know, you're not paying the electricity bill or the water bill, it's time to get help with that, because we have to have those things to maintain good health. Okay, and here we have Venus in opposition to Saturn with Uranus in that T-square to both of them, saying, yes, please err on the side of what is responsible, what is practical, and what will make sure that we have the stuff that we need to stay well and to feel well supported at this time. What else do we want? What else do we see here? Moon goes trine to Saturn this morning. So, you know, based on the tried and true efforts, based on things that we know will work, you know, that time of day around 7:13, between 7 and 9 p.m. might be a good time to, if you do have to ask somebody for help, go ahead and make the phone call. We have a little bit of personal strength, a little bit of emotional fortitude to be able to do those difficult things. Although the sun goes trine to Jupiter early this morning, and it's kind of a don't tell me what to do vibe, so I can see how it might be a little bit difficult to make that call, but even if it's difficult, it's worthwhile if you know that your needs are going to be met. And taken together here with the Eight of Pentacles, you know, I mean, these are both ways of getting our needs met. You know, and here's the thing, you know, we can do the diligent effort, and we can do the work, and we can build something that is of value for ourselves, and we can still wind up in a situation while we're getting ready, while we're doing that effort, and also after we have even built up the security that we need, we may find ourselves at some point in a position of going without things that we need and having to make moves to get those needs met beyond just the work that we're willing to do, okay? So definitely, you know, again, remember, everybody has to ask for some help at sometimes. Perhaps the help you need right now is not a matter of, you know, of poverty or of lacking some really specific like food or something like that, perhaps the help you need is collaborative. Perhaps it is a matter of asking for help, you know, in terms of when you're learning something new and you are getting further into your studies. Perhaps it's tutoring that we need, a better understanding so that we can, you know, connect more thoroughly with the material, and that education can have more value for us. Yeah, and I think that's all I have to say about it today, friends. Thank you so much for joining me. I truly appreciate your presence today. My name is Mel Rose, and I'll see you all back here tomorrow for more Astrology Today and Tarot.